Welcome, folks, to Product of the Week. I guess this is Products of the Week. I kind of got carried away. This was a fun one because it started actually with one product that led me to comparing other products, and I kind of hope to use this one going forward. So, one of the products of the week was 1,000 Minds, and I've been thinking about decision making in software for a long time, ever since I read Thinking Fast and Slow with Kahneman. And I've been trying to figure out a way to do this algorithmically. This is actually how I find the products of the week, is I have an algorithm that does it. It's not great, but this is really interesting. So basically, they took, as far as I could tell, all the insights from Daniel Kahneman's work and turned it into software. There's some really interesting things going on here. So what I did here was actually I took the three products that my algorithm suggested and ran them through this. And so basically what it helps you do is you come up with some things, in this case, products. You can do anything. It could be, you know, toys that you're trying to buy or companies you want to start. And then you come up with some criteria. So we had user interface, feature set, integration, and scalability. And actually, AI came up with these, which is really useful, actually, in the sense that, like, these are pretty good and they get me like 90% of the way there, and I could tweak them if I was really wanting to. I could do some other stuff here, apparently, so I could look at cost, which I think would be really useful. These are interesting. I don't really understand the possible combinations, but makes sense. So basically, you put in criteria, you put in what you're comparing, and then it's going to take you through these these choices, or they call them trade-offs, that help understand basically what you think is important. It's really interesting. It's getting to the bottom of what you think is critical. It's actually separating out your ratings of products from what you think is important, which I think is a helpful difference. Their UI is really good. This is beautiful software, and it doesn't even like you're not even comparing these products, so there's not as much bias to it. I don't know which of these is related to the product, and these are actually just combinations. They're not actually tied to the product. They just use these to figure out what's important to you. So, for example, here, let's say, do I value a great user interface with basic integrations and no scalability more than high scalability with seamless integrations and an average user interface? I think I'm going to do that one. So, actually, that was pretty useful. It's way more accurate. But the result you end up with is what you value. So apparently user interface really high on my list, feature set really low on my list. And I really like these stats. You can make comments, you can do this as a group. Super interesting. It is absurdly expensive. Uh, I don't know if they would let me do this for free, but if you look at the pricing here, like they say, hey, talk with us, which is like, yeah, okay. But for example, for engineering and infrastructure decision making, which is probably what I would use this for, $25,000 a year. So it's a lot. I mean, it seems really valuable, but might not be something I'm able to use. I freaking love it though, and I'm going to try to figure out either how to build my own or how to get away with using this. So that's 1,000 Minds. I think it's really interesting and worth looking into. A really great application. Let's look at the other products it helped me evaluate. One is ReadPilot, which I find this kind of ironic. I actually hate ReadPilot, and I think I rated the user interface too high and the scalability too high. But basically, this allows you to summarize pages. And one, Arc has this built in for free, so I'm not super psyched about it. Two, this is not that much shorter than the article, and I hate the bullet point style. I like It's also not great. This is a tough website because it's kind of like an endless scroll, but it's just not that smart. And it's just a thin layer on top of ChatGPT. I also the UI, it's not that much faster than me just taking this, copying, pasting it, and saying summarize this to my existing AI, which I already pay for. Let's compare. This is much better. So I love the fact that it's a Chrome extension. That's super helpful. I think that is a really great form factor. but it's not fast enough and it's not good enough as it is right now. So I'm interested here, but there's a lot more work they can do. And it's just also not that much. A daily limit of 5 summaries for free and then $8 a month. I don't think that's sustainable. I pay $10 a month for my summary here, and it's really good and it's really fast. So I don't know. I also like, I guess one more comparison, if we're gonna go even cheaper, like let's go to Chat GPT or I guess OpenAI. And I am sure now here I am just absolutely fumbling this. I was like, it's gonna be so much faster, but oh, well, I probably should have said summarize this. Yeah, also better. So I don't know. Also, it's using 3.5, which is not as good as what is out available for free on OpenAI, and it's a tough spot to be in. Building these thin layers on top of stuff is tricky. I also actually think, dang, okay, Copilot. This is Edge I'm using because it's Chromium. I mean, that's worse, but that's pretty good actually. So tough move. I think they have the form factor right with a Chrome extension. I think it's an interesting product. Just it's a tough market, and they haven't differentiated themselves well enough. The final one is called Flowbite, and this one I didn't rate that well because I don't care about feature set. I don't know that the user interface was that good. I don't know. I was kind of disappointed in this one. It's basically a component library similar to Material UI from Google, or I know there's a bunch of React ones out there. It's actually built on top of Tailwind CSS, which is probably kind of a design framework. I know, I'm trying to remember, it's been a while since I've been on the front end, but there's a lot of ways of doing this. And this is just, it was not that fast to get started. So let's say I was using let's say I'm using React, right? So I guess you'd install this, you'd add it to an existing product, and then you'd come in and you'd customize the theme here. I feel like there's a maybe more elegant way to do it. I almost want it to like find and replace for me if I'm gonna be doing that. I was messing around with the Hugo JS one, which is exciting they have it, but it looks kind of convoluted, and maybe that's a Hugo thing. But they obviously have lots of integration guides. I love their documentation. It looks great. I just was kind of disappointed with how long it takes to get value out of this. It feels like it would be a big migration, and it's also not super fast or that much faster than any of the other tool sets out there. So I was kind of disappointed. I might try it out. I might do a Hugo JS and maybe I'll do a follow up on this if I see some use. But basically, the product summary is the what are we calling it? ReadPilot, great idea, tough market, not a great execution. I think they're just going to get eaten by other folks. This software is too general purpose, and they picked a niche that I don't think works. But props to them for getting out there and doing it. 1,000 mines, fascinating. I'm going to be using this for sure as long as my 14-day trial lasts. And then Flowbite was kind of disappointing. I mean, I could see how it is useful, but it doesn't. Kind of similar to ReadPilot, doesn't differentiate itself super well. And I don't think that it's clear why I would choose it over other component libraries for these various projects. So thank you so much for joining me. If you have any kind of alternatives to these products or commentary, please let me know below. And thank you for your time.